How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Acaedia back with us again. They can say their names and what they do in the band.
Hey, how you doing, guys? This is Ray, and I do vocals.
Yo, what's up, Mike? And I play drums.
This is Javier, and I do guitar. Play guitar, not do guitar.
Awesome, guys. Well, first of all, thanks for coming back on. I always appreciate. In fact, I appreciate more when I have bands back on and they have time to do whatever they need to do. And we were talking off camera about the last time you guys came on. We're just in the process of releasing Void and doing all that sort of stuff. And I try to keep up with the bands I've had on the channel. I've had a lot, so it's a little bit harder all the time. But I went back and tried to look up some stuff and look at stuff that happened. So, what's been going on with you guys? I feel like you guys have been pretty quiet. I mean, I feel like a lot of bands have currently, but what has happened probably within the last maybe year and a half that you guys have been doing? Because I feel like you did Void, some stuff happened, and then, for me, I feel like I didn't see as much stuff, and then now more recently I saw that you guys, released a single and, stuff like that. So for me, it's cool to kind of see where you guys are at. So how's things been with the band, and what has been happening recently?
Brandon, thanks for asking. The world is definitely a crazy place right now,
yeah.
Right? So not just not only have we been absent for a while, but it's definitely been a crazy ride this 2020. But before this whole global crisis, if you will. We kind of just, we were going through a lot of personal things, so we were kind of just, trying to get our lives a little bit together. And then we just, we wanted to write music. We just wanted to write nonstop and just, come up. What we really wanted to do was do another album and do as many songs that we could possibly write before even going into the studio, just have as much material as possible. And then sort of take more time to jam too as a band. So I feel like with Void, it was more of a, Javi and I kind of, got together, and then we sort of figured out songs and lyrics and things like that. But this time around, we really wanted to sit back and have everybody involved and kind of really think over what exactly we wanted. And just being in the studio, we recorded stuff that is probably not even going to be, used, or we probably won't ever release it. But the point I'm trying to make is we really took the time to do that, to really get in there and see, hey, do we even want to release this? Does this even work? As opposed to before, we were just writing and releasing. It didn't really matter what it was. We were just whatever we're feeling, let's just put it out there, So this time we were just through the years, we felt that even though you could listen to Acaedia and figure out that it was Acaedia. I felt like we didn't really have a super defined sound, so we kind of just wanted to step back and be now that we've done all this, what do we really want to focus on? Because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that we all, just bring to the table and that we wanted to incorporate, but at some point it's super overwhelming. You have all these ideas, you have all this stuff that you want to do, so we just took a step back and said, hey, do we really want, I'm not going to say we want an absolute formula, because again, we still experiment and we do things to stay creative, but
just organizing more than
this time we really wanted to have
sound this time around
an Acaedia formula, and we just released a new single, and we have a shit ton of songs. And you know what? I'll give it away. We do have an album. There's a new album. It's completely done, and things sort of slowed down a little bit now due to the global crisis. But we will hopefully have an album out either at the end of this year or early next year, because again, we do have a shit ton of material.
Yeah,
we also want to tour it, so
we were in the middle of
now, obviously,
getting everything done before this
actually. If you're a musician right now, there's not a lot going on.
We'll keep writing.
But yeah, there's a lot going on behind the curtain. There's a lot of material. There's a lot of stuff that we're working on. I won't reveal too much.
Always good to hear.
Definitely there'll be a new album. But really, that's it. We just took a step back, kind of just enjoying the little things in life, and also just taking the time to really get together and jam with each other and just do what we love. Just write music, write some good music for you guys.
Sure. And Javi, I know you were trying to get something out. So what you can speak now, hopefully.
Oh no no. What Ray was pretty much saying, like we just, I think we really found our sound, like what we really represent us as a band. So I think in the new EP we actually show that. So I think that's cool. So yeah.
That's awesome. And like I feel like with bands and stuff, it's I feel like it's important, especially if you're like stepping back and you're really thinking about your sound and stuff. I don't think a lot of like bands starting out really think about it. They're just like, yeah, I gotta get songs out, I gotta do this. Like there's just a certain way to do it. And I also feel like just because I've been listening to music for such a long time, it's like, in a certain aspect you not expect, but you like know bands are always creating something, they're always doing something, especially now even more so. But to really sit down and think about like what your next direction is, what your sound's going to be, I think those are bands that really take the next or the bigger steps, because they're allowing themselves to be like, listen, like I want to do this is important to me, like I want everybody else in this collective group to be like really involved and want it to grow. And whether it be like personally amongst the band group, but also like musically as well. So do you feel like with this record you guys took more risks, not only like as you guys grow as like friends and stuff, but as well as that like risk sounds wise? Do you feel like you guys have really kind of changed up from like Void? Because I went back and listened to Void and I was like when he was saying it, I was like, at the time I was like, it's just still such a great record, but I was like, I can understand what they're getting at. Like they're like, okay, I know what you mean, but also at the same time I wanted to get it straight directly from you guys. So like, do you feel like you guys experimented a lot more since you had time to kind of be like work on these songs and kind of like play them out per se, and really kind of hone in on the new Acaedia sound pretty much?
Yeah, I feel less restricted. Not that we were really restricted before, but we definitely opened up a lot more musically and vocally, and just all across the board. We didn't want to feel confined. We definitely wanted to stick to our sound that we've been developing,
sure,
and whatever. But I feel like we were able to open it up way more. Like this record's really heavy and really angry, and
yeah, I would say overall it's way more heavier and more aggressive than Void for sure, like 100%.
I'll tell you right off the bat,
Yeah.
like we obviously we went through changes as a band,
Sure.
and one of the biggest things too, like prior to, because we actually have a new single out right now, and you can kind of get sort of where we're going. There's a little bit of that in that single, but there's a period of time where we were just so calm and relaxed, and we were writing like super just. I mean, you could go back and listen to something like Headstrong, for example, and you could tell that we were just super relaxed, having a super chill time.
Yeah, that was another single we dropped after.
Yeah, and honestly, there were other songs written around that same style. And to be completely honest with you, Brandon, we just sat there one day, and I remember, I don't know if I called Javi or how it went down, but I know that something happened where I spoke to somebody in the band. I don't know if it was Mike or Javi, but I was just like, guys, we're a metal band. Like, we're just heavy, and like we bring a lot of energy, and like we're just brutal. Like, we're melodic and stuff like that, but we're brutal. We love that. We love to bring those crazy riffs and those breakdowns and some aggressive vocals in there too. And so I was just like, we gotta stick to that. Like, that's who we are. And I think that I realized this because I went back, and similar to what you did, I actually hadn't gone back to listen to some of the older stuff that we put out, and this actually dawned on me, as silly as it sounds, listening to Dawning. And I went back and I was like, guys, if there was something that really like sort of defined Acaedia, like especially when we started, was this super, intense energy and aggression, and just like, it was heavy. Again, we were melodic at times, and we still had some cleans here and there, but we had a lot of intensity and a lot of energy. So I told the guys, I was like, we got to bring that back, because in its essence, that's what what Acaedia is all about. And the biggest challenge too was I wanted to just expand my horizons as far as the vocals. And
sure.
I mean, I wanted to really push the boundaries there, and it was a scary process. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because I remember going into the studio and just thinking, man, I'm always used to just, being the screamer, being the chicken scratch guy. But Javi wrote some really, cool choruses, and they just, in my mind, I was like, because Javi knows this. I'm one of his biggest fans, honestly, because he's just like this really creative writer. Like,
Yeah.
dude, he'll send me an idea. I know Mike could probably attest to this. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but Javi will send us a link like at 3 a.m. And I'll be up, like just, I don't know, eating all my quarantine snacks, and he just sends me a freaking random link, and I'm just like, dude, this is awesome. Like, I want to go and like throw some vocals right now. So when when in the early stages, when he was sending me a lot of these links, I was just thinking, man, these are some really cool choruses. Like, I don't know if I can live up to how cool this is like sounding in my head, like this needs to be like super epic. And to be completely honest with you, not only do I owe it to the guys for like believing in me, but our producer and engineer had a lot to do with it. Like, he was just there, like, dude, he was like my #1 cheerleader from day one. He was like, Ray, come on, dude, like, you got this. And he kind of helped me come up with a new sound, like, he was like, let's find your voice here, and he was like, I know you're not used to cleans, but he really pushed me, and he was like, you can do this, dude, let's make it happen. And dude, honestly, I can't wait for you to hear some of these tracks. Like, I don't even think Vyrus, our new single, comes close to some of those songs on the.
Yeah, and this time around as well, we had like an actual team behind the whole record. Like, we had several, I guess you can say, engineers help us shape the TP. It wasn't just one engineer this time around, so I thought that was cool too.
Yeah,
I can also attest for Javi's riffs, because I see some of his videos that he posts, like, using different like like plugins and stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, that's tight. I'm like, he's got it. Like, I don't have to be like, I feel like some of the stuff I write, I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, Javi's got that metal. He's just got something about it. So I appreciate it. But I guess the next thing would be is like, who did you guys decide to go with? You said you worked with like, a team of different producers. So like, who are the people that like had your back and like doing this, like this whole record and stuff? Because obviously you're talking about it with like a lot of passion, and there's a lot of like heart poured into it, and I'm excited to listen to the record and stuff like that. So like, who were some of those people that were just like, you guys can do it? Like, if we're pushing for this new sound, like, we need to go like 100%, like, and who are these people? Because I'm sure they deserve a shout for sure.
Oh yeah. I would say, well, the main person is our sound engineer who records this, which is Javi Melo, and he actually did. I don't know if you heard that cover of Despacito we did.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Actually, I was actually gonna say, he's done a couple of our songs in the past, but what really was the like the turning point for us is we did that Korn cover not too long ago.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
I told the guys, I was like, dude, I'm really really liking the sound that Javi has going on. Like, I think he would really do the album justice, and he understands me. Like, I went in there and he just knew exactly how to work with me and whatnot. I think it's the sensor in there. Yeah. So we did that cover. We did the cover with him. He had done Headstrong, even though that song is not really the direction that we were going for. Like, we just really liked production-wise what he was doing. Yeah. Where, like, he could really bring out some cool shit.
He understands our sound, basically. I guess you can say that.
Yeah, the quality's great.
And dude, I'm gonna be honest. Like, that guy made me like unleash shit that I didn't know I had in me. So it was just like, again, like, I don't mean to call him a cheerleader, but really he was a cheerleader for me, because he was just there for like, there wasn't a moment that he made me feel like, okay, there's no way we're gonna do this, or like, forget it, I'll edit it later, or like, one of those like dismissive, like, you're not good enough, but whatever, I'll fix it kind of moments. Like, the whole time was like, no, he was straight up like, dude, you got this, we can do this, we're gonna make it happen, we're gonna nail that part, or whatever, like,
he's a team player, man.
Super team player. Yeah. And then the other person that was a huge factor too was, I'm sorry if I butcher his last name, is Mike Ligian or Killigian. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he mastered our
which, I mean, we were listening to some of the early mixes and things like that, and we were already like mind blown. We were like, man, this is, I feel like many artists probably say this because anything new that you release, you probably are going to say that it's better than the last, or that you
Yeah,
feel that
sure.
it's your best material or whatever. But as an artist, I've never had a moment where I've told myself I am 100% happy with that mix, or I'm 100% happy with how that
You
sounds.
never get there.
And I don't think you'll ever get there. But what I got with this album was like, that is pretty darn close.
That's
You
about
know,
yeah,
like,
that close.
Yeah.
that is pretty close. And I mean, not to offend anybody that we've worked with, because who knows what we'll be able to accomplish moving forward. But I remember just sitting down with the guys listening to it, like because you do your listen to it in the car, you listen to it in the speakers, your headphones and whatnot. And I remember just sitting in the car with one of our boys too, and we were just like, "Holy crap, that sounds crazy!" You know, like
It's very clear, but it doesn't lose the
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were
Also-
struggling with like, how do we make it clear but still have that
punch
and
yeah,
that and
that
those
fullness.
and that
Also,
fat
shout
tone
out
that we wanted.
to Phil from Sonic Assault Studios, because
Exactly. So I was gonna get at that. So
Yeah.
Phil got an amazing tone for us. It was just
guitar tone.
that's where it all started. If it wasn't for Phil, I think it'd be a different story. He really did a great job with the guitars, and that's one thing that I know Javi's always gonna be super,
Yeah, because I'm
anal
super
about
picky
it.
when
It's
it
like,
comes to guitar tone. So, but I feel like he always achieves what I want, and he just makes it sound like freaking massive. So, it's pretty awesome.
There we go, guys. Obviously, we have to talk about the new single, Virus. What's some of the meaning behind it, if you can enlighten the people on it? Because I feel like I said, it's been a while since I've last had you on the channel. I think things have changed for me too. So tell them about that and what it means to you guys, because I'm sure it all has different meanings to everybody in the band. But, what do you want people to take away when they're like checking out Virus and hopefully getting excited for the next Acaedia record when it drops?
yeah. So interesting thing about that song is that it was one of those late nights. I was texting back and forth with Javi. I was just letting him know that I was in a sort of a funk, in the sense that I was going through this, what the hell's going on right now kind of moment. And for someone like me, like, I travel a lot for work. I'm never really home, and I had been stuck at home for God knows how long. And I was just like, I was having a really hard time coping with it, because as much as you want to, take advantage of that time that you have, where you have it to spend time with your loved ones, enjoy the little things in life, like do the things that you normally don't want to do. There's a lot of negativity going on. Like,
Yeah.
I'm hearing some of my family members just blasting the news with all this negativity and all this craziness that's happening, not just in our nation but across the world. And I remember at some point there was a commercial, and all that, the news sort of negativity and all that stuff sort of stopped for just a moment, and there was this commercial of all this stuff that was happening around the world, how people were sort of coming together and helping each other out, and doing all these good deeds, and just being there for each other. And I couldn't help but think, man, it really took a global disaster, or this crazy shit show, to bring people together. Like, seriously, that, like, in a way, it's like you want to feel good about it, because at least that some folks are coming together and bringing supplies to other less fortunate individuals. But it's a really depressing thing to think about. I was just like, I was in that sort of a mindset where I'm just like, man, it really sucks that we have to go through something so terrible for us to come together and realize that we're better together. So the whole concept of the song is that we are the virus, you know what I mean? And even before this virus, there's a lot of political turmoil, and it's just like every day, all you hear is just pure, nonsense and negativity around the world. So, a lot of people had to die, and this invisible enemy had to, surface for us to realize, hey, we're definitely better together. And that's what Virus is all about. It's just like, man, we're really a broken generation if we don't realize that coming together is the only way that we're going to be able to pave a better future for everybody. And that's just what the song is about, is to remind people that hate and just greed and humanity can be just as evil and contagious as something, as a virus.
Yeah.
You know, as this novel coronavirus as we've come to know it. And yeah, that's it. I just wanted to bring some awareness and remind people that the only way we are going to get through this is together.
Yeah, no, I think that's super important. You know, I very much believe in that stuff, like, you know, on the channel, and a good reason why I have a lot of these bands on and stuff, including you guys, you know, is because, you know, there's a lot of negativity in the scene too, and, you know, I feel like for me it's just like any opportunity to just, like, you know, we all come here, we all enjoy doing this because we love music. You know, we wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be playing music, I wouldn't be doing this sort of thing if I didn't love doing it. So, you know, to highlight people that, you know, hopefully, you know, you try not to focus on the negativity, whether it be, you know, political stuff or, like, you know, what's going on currently. You know, you just try to do your best and, you know, help out people if you can, because it's just like we only have one life to live, so you might as well live it with, you know, other people, and, you know, stay positive. So I
Absolutely.
really back that message, and I think it's cool, and I think it's really important now, just, you know, like you said, given this current circumstances. But I guess
Brandon, you're in New England, right?
I'm in New Jersey, so I'm like pretty
so
close.
you're right
I'm
in
up
the
there. I'm
epicenter
right.
of
I'm
all
right
this,
there.
so-
Yeah. So I'm pretty close.
Well,
so
man,
you know. So
I hope you and your loved ones are, you know, staying safe and healthy.
Thank you.
And man,
You guys as well, definitely too. But the next question, guys, obviously you have a record coming out. So what is one track that changed the most from, like, the beginning to the very end? And then what's one that is your favorite? Like, obviously you don't have to give the name of the song unless you want to, and you want to give me that exclusive. But if you wanna tell people which one that kind of you feel like changed the most since the beginning, and one that's your favorite.
they already did, because it was one of those things where it's like, I
it's
hate
really
to
hard
say
to
that
choose
and
just
sound
one
cliche,
out of all.
but it's
Yeah.
like every time we finished one, we were just like, "That's the best one."
Yeah.
That's
And
a
they're all,
good
like,
feeling
single
though.
material,
But
to be honest.
it's honestly
The last one,
it's
too.
honestly a great listen from beginning to end. But I think there's obviously one that we all like a lot.
Yeah.
I think that it's the one. I don't want to reveal any names or anything, but it's the one song that we feel that everyone can listen to.
Okay.
It's got something for everybody. It's that one song, and it doesn't matter if you're a metal elitist or if you're into Jen or if you're a deathcore kid.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter
That's
if you're a new
It
metal
has pretty
kid.
much
Who cares?
all the
Like,
elements.
this song is gonna be for you.
Yeah.
But the one that I think was the one that had the most changes was the last one, and especially vocally, because we took a different approach for that one,
Ooh,
and that
okay.
one really challenged me. I think that one has the hardest vocal part probably in the whole record, and it was. I mean, I remember listening to it back, and I was just like, this song is not, you know, my favorite on the album, because there's a lot of other songs that I probably gravitate towards, but it's just one of those things that I couldn't stop listening to it. Like, it was.
Yeah, it's more
I
like
don't know how to
track, I
explain
would
it.
say.
It's like, it's not my favorite, but it is kind of thing. And
It's like a nice finale song.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's so uplifting. Like, I felt that it was the first
Especially the
time
end.
that we ended, and it feels good. Like, even though what I'm saying, because I mean, I touch on a lot of, you know, touchy things lyrically, but even though the words may not be, you know, super positive, what I was trying to elucidate at that moment was to, you know,
Emotion, man.
bring out that emotion, and even though it's a negative, you know, some of the words are negative, they're really
Yeah.
to show somebody that you can make it through something, right? And it was just, it gave me the chills. Like, I remember, I think it was Mello or somebody that reached out and said, like, yo, I heard that part, and it's like, it really fucking, like, I don't know, it shook me a little bit. So it's like, that's how we knew. We were like, okay, that's how we knew we had a good conclusion, and we were like, this is a good place to leave it at, you know?
It's a powerful ending, you know, to a good record. So I'm excited to check them out. I didn't want you to reveal like the whole record, but I wanted a, I feel like as an interview, I wanted a little taste. I feel like.
Oh, there's a lot of surprises in there. There's a lot of stuff that you're gonna be like, what the hell?
The first track on the EP is just like crazy, like it's insane from beginning to end.
Yeah, from beginning to end.
It's
We're not giving anybody any breaks.
Yeah, like it's just like pure.
It's a marathon, baby. We're gonna take it all the way. But the next question, guys, I like asking a little bit of questions I had asked you the first time you came on. But the most current one would be, who have you guys been jamming recently? What's on the Spotify? What have you been listening to guys lately?
Dude, you wouldn't even believe what I've been jamming lately. It's just been pure The Weeknd for weeks.
Ooh,
that dude's new record.
Right.
What is it, After Hour? What is it called? I don't even remember the name. But it's just like, dude, I've been
I'll check it out. I'm pretty sure it's After Hours.
Day for the past like 3 or 4 weeks. I've honestly haven't been jamming to metal. I've been listening to that new Dua Lipa.
Oh, nice. She's great.
Cleansing the palate.
Yeah, like honestly, I haven't really done much metal lately.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Intronaut and King Crimson and just jumping back and forth through stuff. Bowie, like I'll just try to listen to something different so that inspires me in a different way as the new tracks, Hobby Sends or whatever come in, just to keep it fresh.
I don't even know what I've been jamming to.
Oh, he's definitely been jamming that metal. Dude, Hobby's the most metal out of all of us.
Yeah.
I've been jamming some instrumental stuff too, like a band called This Will Destroy You.
Yes, they're great.
Yeah. The Currents is a band I've been jamming a lot too. They just released like an album too.
Coming out. Yeah, new record.
Yeah.
Very excited about that. And then it was Ray. It was After Hours. That's the Weeknd record.
It is After Hours. Okay.
So you're right. Didn't want to listen. I know how it is being on the internet, so I want to make sure we got it straight. So nobody we have a keyboard warrior.
Yeah, someone's gonna leave a comment. Damn,
this isn't the Weeknd's album. It's this album. Yeah. So there you go. Well, save Ray from the depths of keyboard hell. But the next question, guys, another fun one. If you guys were to create a musical supergroup, who'd be in your band?
Dude, straight up, Freddie Mercury would be my vocalist.
Okay.
My drummer. Who would be my drummer? My drummer would be Eloy Casagrande from Sepultura.
Ooh, okay.
And damn. Let's see. Who would be a guitarist, Mike?
Don't ask me.
I can't even choose. Probably Guthrie Govan.
Oh, that's a move.
So I'd have Freddie Mercury with Eloy and Guthrie in a band. That sounds like a disaster, but
Eclectic.
Yeah. I don't think it's a disaster.
Yeah.
I don't even know who I put on bass. Who would I put on bass? Help me out, Javi. Who do we put on bass?
On bass, that's a good question.
Let's put someone contemporary.
Nolly.
Let's drop
Nolly. Okay.
Or we can drop Evan Brewer in there.
Ooh,
yeah.
Evan Brewer. That's another good move. I like that.
That way we can have.
We can play anything. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Or this guy Davey from YouTube. Davey. The slapper.
Oh, the slap bass. The Davey 504, my guy.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh my god. All right, Mike or Javi, you guys got any ideas?
Man.
For me, it'd be drummer would be Matt Greiner from ABR.
Classic, yeah.
Guitars, maybe Eddie Van Halen.
Ooh, okay.
That's a good one.
Okay, that's a good one.
And bass player Nolly.
Okay.
And vocalist, I don't know. Maybe Sam Carter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be interesting. Very interesting.
That'd be.
It's a whole like
that's
diverse
actually.
lineup.
That's a pretty crazy.
That's a pretty
I mean,
crazy lineup.
You put folks that sort of would work together.
Yeah.
So that I can actually see that happening. That'd be interesting.
Mike, you got one?
Man, for drums, I would say Bill Ward, just because old school, like for me, like that was a big influence for me, starting up with Sabbath and all that. On bass, Joe Lester from Intronaut, just
nice.
because I feel like that would blend really, really fucking well. Man, or that's a tough. I forget his name, but the guitar player from this band called Irrepressed.
Oh, okay.
I'd love to hear that. It's like some post-rock band. Wait, who am I missing?
Vocalist.
Oh, I don't really think about vocalists.
Yeah, he
Straight instrumental.
Yeah, I just think about like the best instrument. I listen to a lot of instrumental music, obviously.
Yeah, I actually listen to a lot of instrumental stuff too. So
There we
Vocal,
go.
Man, I don't even know.
he actually listens to our album instrumental.
You know what? The vocalist from BT Band, just because that.
Ooh, that is
That's
a
clean.
good pick, dude.
Yeah.
I
That
like
guy's
that.
crazy.
I like that. That came out. That came out of nowhere. I like that move. That was,
Yeah, that's actually a good.
That's a good choice. That's a great choice. Not a lot of
So
people.
like, if it had to be metal though, if I had to choose like in the metal scope, then my vocalist would be Johnny Davey for sure. That would be my
yeah.
number one choice.
Yeah. Okay.
what band is he from?
Huh?
What band is he from?
From JFAC and Flesh Rot. Woo! And then Naveen, definitely Naveen.
Oh hell yeah.
So I'd throw but that doesn't count.
You know what? You know what? On
No,
guitar
but he's a
or
Flesh
drum?
Rot with him. So that
But he's
doesn't
a
count.
guitar Flesh Rod.
Yeah.
Or I think he does everything. I don't know.
So let's bring in. So let's do. Let's do.
This
let's
is Ray's
do Johnny
final
Davey.
answer.
We'll do on bass. We'll throw in Fieldy from Korn.
Ooh.
And then-
Oh, I forgot about him. Yeah.
All right, and then on guitar. So let's throw
I'm feeling
in
this.
Andy James. So let's throw in Andy James.
Oh, Andy James is sick.
Fieldy,
Yeah.
Johnny Davey, and who do we throw in on drums? Let's see.
Oof. This is nuts.
Let's see. Let's throw in. You know what? I'm gonna throw in my buddy Aaron.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Shouts to
Eric's
Aaron.
guitar.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw Aaron in there.
Just because he can play everything awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we
He's like
go.
everyone's drummer.
Wild. I love the answers.
I want to hear that because I would love to hear how Fieldy would work
That interaction.
in that
Yeah, dude, same thing.
scenario.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome,
Dude,
guys.
but with Andy James, that'd be a crazy ensemble there.
Next question, guys. Another fun one as well. If you guys could pick an album that you wished that you wrote, what album would it be? An album
Oh
you
my
could
God!
take credit for.
An Ocean Between Us. It's the greatest album ever written. And I, you know, I'm not ashamed of saying it. It's right there with Kill Switch. Don't get me wrong. So, Alive or just breathing, and definitely An Ocean Between Us. But An Ocean Between Us is my number one always.
Great pick.
No, for me it would be Misery Signals of Malice and a Magnum Heart. But
Oh.
Amazing,
Super
super
old school,
underrated.
yeah.
Also, that's probably one of the
Yeah.
greatest records.
I think
Yeah.
at the time it came out, it was just like no one did anything like that, and it was just great.
And you can still listen to it today. And
Yeah,
it's
just
still
like
be,
that.
Still
Yeah.
sounds good.
you know, a ride. You know, it's crazy record. What about you, Mike?
Mike?
I would say Contortionist Intrinsic.
Oof,
That record just
that record
it was-
changed my
like, I got it
life.
on vinyl, and I can't do that
Dude.
too much for new bands now.
That was such a crazy
vibe.
change.
Yeah, the vibe on there was big.
For me, that was that first band that did like a, I'll call it the BT Bam effect. I'm sorry, the BMTH effect.
Yes.
Where they just went from one, you know, a complete. It was like a 180. You know what I mean? Like it was just completely different. That was the first time I heard somebody just change so much and just still be that good. You know?
It's a well-rounded record too.
I mean, that band in general is just underrated.
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless, I
I
feel
think
like
there's brothers too. I think the guitar player and the drummer are brothers or something.
believe
Every
so.
time there's a band that there's brothers in it, it's always sick.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last thing, guys, the most important thing, tell them about Acaedia, where they can find you out on the social media, and you know what you guys got coming up.
So yeah, I mean, we're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter as Acaedia FL.
Spotify.
We are on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Amazon,
almost everything
Google
except
Play,
Google Play Store.
everything except TikTok.
Yeah, that's for the moment.
Yeah, no
For the
TikTok.
moment,
We don't
For
know.
the
we're not cool enough yet.
I don't
I
know
don't even
about that.
understand it. So
None of the guys want to do videos with me, so I'll have to figure it out.
well, social distancing.
Hey, we could do a little ensemble. We don't have to be together.
Well, definitely, we're constantly working on stuff though, for real though. So
Guy, we
seeing
Well, we
promise
have like a
you,
year of stuff that we
there is
haven't
so
released,
much.
so.
It's just
Yeah.
there's so much that's happening behind the curtain that I can't really tell you about
we're
right
trying
now.
to be more consistent in
But-
the future. Like, once we see
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
So, having said that, we gave you Vyrus just so that you know that we haven't forgotten about you. So we gave you that one, but trust me, there is a lot happening
Yeah.
behind the curtain.
Well, they have 3 albums coming out, an EP, a live album, world tour, and then they'll also be starting a YouTube channel with like famous YouTube celebrities. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But they definitely have at least one of those things. I'm not gonna tell you which one. It's definitely the record. But go check them out. Definitely one of those bands that I loved having on the first time, and you guys just keep getting better and better as, you know, like a fine wine. Keep getting better with age. So go check out Acaedia. Go check out the new track Vyrus. The links will be in the description where you can find out about them, their music. If you want to check out an OG audio addiction video, you can watch the first interview and the album review, because that was like 2 years ago, so you can watch me be 2 years younger, which is great. I can't. I'll never get that back, so you guys can watch that. And if you enjoy this interview, share it, like it, subscribe. It goes a long way. And thanks, of course, to Acaedia for coming on and chatting tonight.
Absolutely, and thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us, Brendan. I hope that everybody stays safe and everyone and their loved ones are healthy, and hopefully we'll get out of this crisis soon.
and on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.